I told you some things that I found out, and it was like, but my father did everything he could, right? But it hurt me to hear these things, and I'm like, dang, this is the type of person that raised me. So this is what I'm saying. I had to find some type of peace.
I think my expectations, considering my circumstances,
they're totally different.
But I just completely lower, right? You, thankfully, are in a position where you can scrutinize the behavior, the actions, the lack thereof, the way that was, the way that this, the way that he, the way that I don't even remember what this motherfucker looks like. What's up? I am Omega, and this is Diverse Clarity. This is where we have those thought-provoking conversations about things that matter and some that don't. And of course, as always, I'm here with my man, my co-host, Mr. John D. What's good?
What up, though?
What's up?
Hey, just enjoying these wonderful beverages. The beverages of choice this evening has quenched my thirst.
This dude. Wow. So you good? You happy? You happy with that?
Yeah, they're delicious, to be honest.
Wanted to make sure you had something nice for the episode.
Yeah, it was honestly it was surprisingly good. How about that?
Really? And the first one?
By far.
Can we ask which one was better? Was the first one the best?
Well, so what I've noticed when
I'm gonna need you to just say yes.
When you participate in adult beverages, the more you drink, they all start to taste the same, but you just remember the initial one. So the third one still tastes great as the first one. But the first one introduced me to a different type. Like I would have never ordered anything like this.
Right.
But it was really good. So you know what? I guess I can say the first one was better because of the tonic. The zing of the tonic.
The zing. I like that word. Mm-hmm. The zing. The zest.
Yeah.
Wasn't that a commercial?
Fully clean.
Zest fully clean. You're not fully clean unless you're
zestfully clean. But you know, the blueberries did something too. I did taste the blueberries outside of the strawberries.
So cut them open. That way they
didn't
bleed.
Ever think about that.
Cut them open so they bleed into it.
That's why I tasted it.
See, slowly penetrating the waves of
penetration is real.
What you was okay. This dude. You know what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
No, but I'm saying I was wondering why I was able to taste it because I put blueberries in drinks and I could never taste it. I just bit them, right?
Yeah.
But now I understand why I was able to taste it.
Well, see, here's the kill, right? When you put them in, you squeeze them a little bit. That way it gets some in there, but now it's like open it up. So then when it goes in,
with the alcohol can soak in.
Yeah, man. That's what you do.
Word.
Rookie right there, making moves.
Hey, you know, I guess some people just are really good in everything they do.
Wow, really? Whatever.
You're welcome.
Shukran.
Afwan habibi.
Well, what's good, man? How's your week, man?
It was pretty hectic, but overall, well, I can say that this week my routine has been all off.
You want to talk about what you doing?
I'm still studying, but it hasn't been as effective.
Oh, but I mean the week, like everything is
my real week. Oh yeah.
Like, but I mean, do you want to talk about it now?
Oh yeah, I don't have a problem
that for
with
later.
It. Yeah,
we'll let everybody know what's going on.
Yeah, I'm departing this wonderful country, and when I say wonderful, it's because of the insight that I've had by moving here. I've learned so much, and I'm like kind of just finalizing things, and you know when you run into those roadblocks that most people who live here know what they look like, and it's like I've just been trying my best to just try to keep a positive mind and say things are supposed to happen the way they do, but I just wanted to make sure I covered all my bases. Did I see a fumble over there?
Or what?
I thought you might have spilled something.
No. That was condensation.
Condensation was...
That was condensation. I don't know what you're talking about. That's what that was.
But
I don't know what you were saying.
But honestly, it's just trying to do everything when I can. Right. And I think today's the last thing that officially somebody else was responsible for. So I'm just waiting for the documents to come so that I can send it to my job to complete the my exit process with my job.
Well, I just want everybody to know that even though Mr. John D is going to be leaving the country, he is still going to be my co-host on Diverse Clarity
All day.
All right. So we do have a plan in place, and there are going to be several iterations of Diverse Clarity coming your way. We will have a Diverse Clarity Live, and we will be doing remote podcasting, and that'll pick up a few weeks after this episode airs. So we got a few more episodes for this season that we'll be filming, but Diverse Clarity Live will focus more on the current events of what's going on in the world today. So you'll be able to log in, you'll be able to watch us live, and we'll talk about everything that's going on those days. Unlike the original podcast, which will continue as well,
Definitely.
where we are talking about timeless topics.
Correct.
So season 2 for Diverse Clarity will resume next year.
Yeah.
And John will come back to the UAE, and we're going to film. Right?
Sure.
We're going to put season 2 out. So that's how that's going to work. And there's some other things coming up as well, but in future episodes that are coming, I think we got about 4 more for this season that we're going to push for. And you guys will see. So like I said, other iterations of Diverse Clarity that are coming, but Diverse Clarity podcast, the Q&As, and then Diverse Clarity Live is going to hit you. But an announcement that may be coming for some other things that we're going to be working on in Miancore Productions. So make sure you stay tuned for that, right? Bruh, this week I have been... Hold
on, my bad.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, man, how's your week been? I got to get better at that shit.
Well, the season's almost done now. What do you want me to do? So, but this week I've been focusing more on the news, right? And I'm trying to get ready for some other stuff that, working on and whatnot. So I'm trying to get my mind back into paying attention, but it's kind of frustrating, right? So like on One Piece, like a couple of the apps that I use, like I was, setting up for like locations. I've never realized how many shootings are occurring in the U.S. Like for real. Like, maybe I'll put the app, one of the apps or whatever that I use down in the description. But one of the apps I use, I set the location for Atlanta. Bruh, I remember I probably saw, and I'm not exaggerating, about 25 or 30 shootings in a span of 3 to 4 days. Because, I'm getting the notification. And everything that was a pop-up was about a shooting. And it was just like, it's crazy, right? And I saw somebody talking on YouTube, and I think it was an older clip. But they were trying to say, oh, well, all these shootings are occurring because it's in these particular neighborhoods, and these children are growing up without fathers and all of this. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, yo, this kind of messed up. But like, when you hear stuff like that, like what comes to your mind?
I ain't gonna lie. I think that plays a role, but I think it's more so a survival mode.
Not about a father not being around, but because they're trying to say like the father's not being around. This is why the shootings are occurring in said neighborhoods.
That's what I'm saying. The narration of it, I can see how it could be viewed in both ways. But I'm saying that if you heard about my son shooting or your son shooting, you would think like, what did he get involved in? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So when I look at different areas, I think that when you are able to be in an area where shooting like that happens regularly, or it's not as surprising, I think it's a lack of guidance, and when I say lack of guidance, I mean just a better way to survive. Because when gunplay is involved, I honestly feel if you have your life in order and resources, gunplay will never be involved.
Right.
It's only for a place of protection in your home. But when you go out and people die in the streets, it's a different level of survival.
But do you think that it really has something to do with fathers not being in the home? Because you say guidance, right? Mm-hmm. And when you say guidance, the first thing that comes to mind is like raising the children, as in like in a village. Mm-hmm. Like what's the saying? They say it takes a village, right? So me for myself, like I grew up, I eight uncles, 3 aunts.
Guidance.
You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. So like, but there's still people who have similar environments, right? And just because you have the numbers, it doesn't mean that somebody's going to come out on top or not going to get caught up in certain situations. Sometimes it's survival. Sometimes it's the placement. Sometimes it's the way that the government has it set up and by the things they put into those communities or whatever. So I don't like to blame it on, or I don't like the idea that it's blamed on fathers not being there. And it's really kind of messed up because I think there was a study that was done before. I forget the agency, but the CDC, I believe it was. But the study that was done, and it's like it skewed results. If they want to make that the argument, right? It skewed results. And the reason being, they're looking at it like, okay, the father is not in the home, right? But they're not taking into account that just because a man and a woman are not married, it doesn't mean that the father is not in the child's life.
I can dig that.
You know what I'm saying? So, and even the numbers were showing that there's X percentage of the fathers that are there to feed the child, that is going to the child's schooling events, and
they do not report that
being a part of their life. But they're looking at the simple fact that they're not married or that they're divorced.
Like that's the only way to be able to be successful in raising kids. Correct.
With the option, you know what I'm saying, with the idea that it's not possible to be in the lives, or when there's a divorce that occurs or separation that occurs, now that father is no longer in the life.
It's already a statistic. They made him a statistic of the kid being fatherless.
Right. Exactly. Correct. So I think that's messed up. But
it is.
How was it with you? Like your father being in your life though?
So I mean, I guess there's so many ways I could get into that, because that is the man that taught me how to love.
Right.
And I look back at it now, and it's like he didn't really teach me how to love. He taught me how to survive in the mindset of you hug somebody, you tell them you love them, but he didn't really. I don't know how to explain it. It was very. I got a lot of whoopings.
Same.
No, I don't know, man. Like, you know, I talked to my my sister, my second oldest sister, Angie, and I said I was bad when I was little, and she said you was so bad. You know what I'm saying? Like when somebody can say you're so bad and it was that long ago, like man, I'm telling you, like the memories I have of my father are a lot of whoopings. Yeah.
How long was he in your life though? Like as a constant, or you know?
Oh yeah. He was there, all of it, and you know he died when I was 26.
Okay. Oh, so you had him from.
And you know, my mother left when I was 14, and he raised my sister and I. But his level of parenting was just the best he could do. You know, I remember him saying this. He did something that was wrong, and I called him out on it. And he said, "I ain't did this shit before. Those other kids, I didn't raise them." And I can see him, and it was just like, he ain't lying. He ain't did it before. And it was like, that was his way of saying, I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? And
there's no rule book. No matter how many people go out there and write and try to act like they're the professionals. And I'm not saying that there are not professionals. I'm not saying that people don't exist that have a great deal of experience or knowledge behind it and they can't write whatever, but every child is different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we all got different fingerprints for a reason. So, and it's like, yeah, there are some ideas that can be put behind good parenting or parenting skills or whatever, but you got to customize it for every child that you have, you know? And that's what a lot of people don't think. But like from my side, my father wasn't in my life at all. So it was my mother and my family that was around. So, but I don't know, man. Like from my side, it was kind of rough because I remember stuff like you go to school and you have, fathers. You know, the fathers come like Father's Day, but then they'll have like Father's Day dinner, stuff like that. And then you like the little kid that's sitting there and your dad don't show up because you ain't got one. You know what I mean? Like this kind of thing. So I remember stuff like that. And unlike you, my dad was like for real not around. You know what I mean? Like I remember the last time I saw him, or the last time I was supposed to see him that I remember, I probably was like 5, 6.
Do you remember that day?
Yeah, bro. Like it was yesterday. And it was, I remember my mom had said, she was like, oh yeah, because he was in the Air Force, right? And I don't think he might have been active duty at the time, but she was like, your dad is coming, right? He's in town or whatever. And I'm like, okay. So I knew I was going, spend some time with him. And we was living with my grandparents at the time. And I remember, bro, I was like, I had my little bag packed, right? And the way where we live, my grandparents, they lived on the corner. But like a lot of times as a kid, like people would just like pull into the driveway and then, back out and go the other way, right? And I remember that morning, bro, I sat in that window that looked out to the driveway all day.
Waiting for him.
All day, wow. Bruh, all day. I didn't want to eat. I didn't want nothing. I just had my bag packed. I was ready. And it had to be, I know the sun was starting to like go down.
Damn.
And I could hear everybody like kind of talking or whatever. And it got to a point where they was just like,
So was there any impression that he really wasn't coming?
Nah, bro.
I'm talking about with everybody else that was waiting also.
This I don't know. I mean, I was like 6. I
think, I was just like wondering, 5, 6,
like I don't.
When somebody decided that he was not coming, like I know you as a child, you remember that, but it was like, was he really coming? Like, what was the previous time? When was the time you saw him before?
I remember the time I saw him before, and I remember he came and like I said, he was military. I remember we stayed on the military base there in Warner Robins, right? And I remember he bought me is it Voltron? The one where they come together, right? He brought me a Voltron, but this was like a cast iron Voltron.
Oh,
it was like
that was a real
heavy,
deal,
not this little plastic Walmart, whatever, but like the real Voltron. And I remember that, and it even had the little people inside. The little, bro. I had to, so I remember that. And I think he brought me like a He-Man, like one of the He-Man toys or whatever, and Mechaneck. I don't know if you remember him. There was the He-Man toy when you turn. Twist his waist and his neck go up.
Yeah.
And I had He-Man and I had Mechaneck, and I was like, yeah. And that was the last time I remember seeing him. But other than that, bro.
Do you know his parents?
No.
Do you know any idea of how he grew up?
I know he was in South Carolina. I mean, that was like where he was, where he was from. And
what part,
I want to say Charleston.
Okay.
Charleston. I mean, I was born in Charleston, but that was where the Navy base was, the battery, or whatever. But yeah, the Navy base in North Charleston. And but yeah, it was. I remember a time when I was a kid. So it seems. Maybe this is mixed up, but I don't know. I don't think I ever went there to go see like family, but I think like his mother was there and some other people. But I actually did search for him in 2017, right? And so 2017, my grandmother passed away, and I went home and everything or whatever. And this was like August, September timeframe. I came back to the UAE in September, and I don't know what it was that hit me, but I was like, yo, let me look him up and let him know, right? So not going to reveal sources, but I did a background check, right? I had like pages of information on him, and I found some of his email addresses, and so then I went on like various websites, but the one that hit was LinkedIn, right? And it was a Yahoo address. So I go on LinkedIn, I put in the address, and I found a page. Now, he only had 4 contacts at the time, right? And it's like, okay, this has got to be him, right? I see his name. It's got to be him. So I go to the page, I request, however LinkedIn works. I don't use it anymore, but LinkedIn, where you request to link with somebody or add them as a contact, whatever the terminology is. And so I do that. The next day I wake up, he's accepted. And I was like, oh, snap. He's now got 5 contacts, right? And I was like, okay, all right. So I'm going through, I'm looking. So I send him a message, no reply. I'm like, yo, this is, whatever. So wait another day, whatever. Go in, send another message, No reply. I'm like, man, this is crazy. So I started going through all the information, like all the paperwork, whatever, from the background check. I find people that are associated with him. I'm finding like last address that's on file. And I found a hotel, motel, whatever, that's actually in South Carolina. And I call. I won't name it because I don't want to get nobody in trouble. But I call, and the lady that answered the phone, like I'm describing it, and she was like, sweetheart, I know exactly who you're talking about. He left maybe 2 weeks ago. You know, only black man that came through. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, yo, what did he give a forwarding address? Did he, you know, whatever? And she's like, I don't know. But if he does come back, you know, I'll let you know because he does come through here frequently. And I mean, okay, 50-50 chance that all black people look alike. But I gave her the name. She said that she knew exactly who it was. I mean, you know, whatever. So that didn't hit. Then I found like this guy that was supposed to be like his pastor or something like that, or at least a church that he goes to. Bro, I was digging deep. Found the church, so I contact the number there, and a lady answers the phone. And it was funny because I think she probably thought like I was trying to say that her husband was my dad. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, because she wasn't trying to be, well, the first phone call, she was being really helpful. And, you know, obviously the time difference. And she was like, listen, sweetheart, just give a call back about this time tomorrow. I'll tell my husband. He'll be here about that time, and I'll let you speak to him. Okay, cool. So I call back. When I call back this time, the whole tune has changed. She's acting like, why are you know, ain't nobody, we don't know who that is.
Wow.
Well, can I speak to, you know, your husband? Can I speak to the pastor, the man of the Lord? Can I speak to him? Because I'm, you know, trying to find my father, right? And so no, whatever. So I kind of leave that alone. I'm not trying to disrupt their household or whatever, right? But I'm thinking the man of the cloth, like he should be somebody that's more than willing to try to help me. And a woman that's married to him, she should be doing the same. So, but then I'm like, okay, so I go in there and I'm looking at the other information, whatever, right? And I find there's a contact on Facebook. Turns out that this is supposed to be like a cousin of mine. So I reach out to this dude on Facebook. Yo, man, what's up? This is me, da-da-da. I'm looking for my dad, blah, blah, blah. This is his name, whatever. Dude messaged me back. He was like, yeah, I'll check and see. Like, I haven't seen him around, you know, but I'll check and see, and then I'll let you know. Okay, cool. After that, tried to reach out to him on Facebook, wouldn't respond to me no more. And I'm just like, yo, ain't this something, you know? So now I was telling somebody about it where I was staying at the time, and like was down by the gym, and they were like, well, listen, if you haven't talked to him in this many years, why don't you go back to LinkedIn and just send him a picture of yourself as you look today? Because how is he gonna be able to look at a picture of you now and then be like, you know, I'm not gonna respond? I'm like, yo, that's a good idea, right? So send the picture, send the message, and in the message I was like, listen, I don't want anything. I just want to let you know that both of them, because I only know my grandparents from my mother's side. So, but I know that he knows them as well. Obviously, he married my mother. You know what I mean? So I was like, look, I don't want that from you, but I just want to let you know that both grandma and grandpa are no longer here. You know, whatever. And I'm writing a message and this and this. No response. And so I gave it another day, send a message. And I was like, look, last message that I'm going to send, you know what I'm saying? If you don't respond to this, it is what it is. And, you know, I wish you the best. No response. I closed the LinkedIn account, washed my hands with it, ripped up the background report, done. So it's like, yo, man, it's one of them.
So let me ask you,
What's that?
have you thought why he would do that? Or like,
I mean, that's the only question that any child would ask if their father's
no.
not around.
I'm saying, like, for you to wash your hands though. What is your answers been? Is any of your answers?
You want my real answer, or you want my politically correct answer because we on a podcast?
Well, at the end of the day, it's all about you. So it's however you want to.
My real answer, after all of that and all of those years of,
did he retire? Did he retire from the military?
From my understanding, oh yeah, and the reason that I knew for sure, like it was him, like I knew what his job was in the military, right? The on the LinkedIn profile, it was basically the same job, but he was doing it as a contractor. Go figure, this motherfucker is doing military contract work overseas the same way I got out the military and I'm doing military contract work.
That's what his LinkedIn said.
Well, but I'm just saying, saying, but he's got to be out the military now. Like, there's no way.
I didn't say he wasn't. I'm just saying, like, you know, I was just trying to think, like, what would it take for a man to be able to move like that. And it sounds to me, when men do that, from my experience, drugs play a role, bad decisions, embarrassment, people that try to keep you away from it, is protecting you from what they don't want you to see.
Right.
So that's the reason why I wanted to know, how deep have you thought about why it would take a man to go to like where people are blocking that from happening?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And like I'm clueless also, but I believe in mankind to a degree. And when I say that, I mean that I believe that we walk and want to be better, but I know that demons can prevent people from growing. And I believe there's some information that you don't have that can allow the village of people to protect him away from you, or they're protecting you from him.
See, I agree with that. And that's a great perspective. You know what I mean? Especially if we want to try to be fair and realize that we don't know what we don't know. Mm-hmm. But what we do know is that this individual was in the military for quite a long time. Even he was still doing military work when I...
Why do you think he was?
Because I know, because my mother told me.
Oh, no.
So, but he was still doing work. Matter of fact, when I left to go to Kuwait in like 99, I think it was, I had a deployment there. I remember my mother telling me that he was in that same region. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So able body, he wasn't doing drugs then. You can't be in the military, associated with the military doing drugs then. No,
it's an assumption.
Not to the point where you're not going to be functioning.
Maybe he wasn't in the military.
Hold up, but not to the point where you're going to be functioning properly and not realize or remember that
wasn't in the military.
He was in the military. I had a military ID card my entire life. I was born a military baby.
I didn't say you.
Right. No, what I'm saying is I had a military card, ID card my entire life because I was born as a military baby. I was born on a military base.
I get that.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying.
I'm talking about him.
He was in the military. How would I have that's what I'm saying. I'm his dependent.
Yeah.
For 18 years, I had a military ID because he was in the military. At least until I was 18. Do you get what I'm saying?
No.
When your parent is a military member, a child will get a dependent military ID
I get
card.
That. But you said it for how long?
But when I got out of high school, I was 18. When I deployed to Kuwait, I was 19.
Yes, sir.
So we're talking less than 1 year. You get what I'm saying? That it went from, you know what I mean?
Well, you know I'm on your team, right?
Right, but I'm saying,
I'm just trying to come out with
right. But I'm giving you the timeline of the possibility of, right. There's no way that I would have had a military ID card where I was the dependent of Mr. Howard if he wasn't active duty military or affiliated, associated in some way. You get what I'm saying?
I do.
That's the whole reason that
I'm not saying he wasn't.
Right. Well, you say maybe he wasn't in the military.
No, at that time when you were in a region.
Okay, maybe he wasn't. But then we go to what you were saying, right? About the whole, well, you know, maybe it was drugs, maybe it was this, maybe it's that, which could be a very good possibility.
The only reason why I'm doing this because I'm trying to make because I want you to win,
right? And
I feel like this. Ultimately, you wanted this is where it sounds to me. You would have loved for it to work, but when you wash your hands, you want him to say, I just didn't want to mess with my kid no more, so you can be upset with him. But if you find out that it's something that prevented him from being the man, you feel like, dang, I got to forgive him.
He had 18 years to figure that out.
You saying you can't grow on the 19th?
He definitely can.
That's what I'm saying, brother. Like check this out.
But sometimes you can train all you want to be in whatever sporting event that you want to be in, and you fall short every year.
For sure.
But that might be your last year. You know what I mean? So like, just because
last year for who?
That could be your last year to make it. Look, my thing was this, right? I wasn't going to spend my whole life looking for somebody that wasn't looking for me.
I get it.
This is the thing. And so what I felt was like, I went I don't even know if above and beyond like properly articulates the effort that I put in. You get what I'm saying? And those in that 2017 stint that we talking about, right?
Oh, look, you did a lot.
But I'm just saying, so like for me, there has to come a point where you have the same way that I operate these days. When I tell you, I'm like, yo, I don't mess with people. If I feel that the energy is bad, if I feel that whatever they bring it to the table is not good for me, it's not gonna make me better. And if they're not making me better, I know I'm not gonna be any good for them because I know how I'm gonna feel and be around those people.
Yeah.
Right. So like that goes for that too. Like where does it stop? I mean, am I supposed to possibly, or not just me, this is for anybody. Is anybody supposed to sit and just say, okay, well, I've made efforts. It's not like I just sat around and was like, well, hopefully one day he'll call me, right? So am I supposed to sit around and just wait? And when I say I'm talking about every I that's out there who was in a similar kind of situation, right? Everybody that can relate to what I'm saying, I'm talking to you, right? So are the we's or the I's supposed to just sit there and say, you know what? Maybe one day he'll contact me. I'm just going to sit here and wait. I went above and beyond.
I don't think you would ever do that.
But here's the thing, bro. Let's go back to the LinkedIn real quick, right?
Yeah,
remember what I'm saying? He had 4 contacts on LinkedIn. I found him through email address that was attached to his background report. Okay. When I requested to link to him, he then had 5 contacts. Who was me? So you mean to tell me he recognized?
And that's why I said drugs.
Well, hey man.
Hey dude, people do bad things when they on drugs.
Right. And if that's the case, then we're talking about the more recent years. What was going on when he was active duty military and he had a way to contact?
When was he active duty military? Why was you like
I don't know the full stint of his time, to be fair, right? Yes. I don't know.
Well, so I
really don't know much about him, to be honest.
I want to give him a little more clarification.
Go ahead.
I'm on your team.
I know.
And I want you to like just find some type of understanding where I don't know if it irritates you or bothers you, like when you're alone or when you think of something, you be like, oh, that motherfucker.
Yeah, it definitely does.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, I just want you to be able to have
anybody
at least some more options. Like, you know what? I'm gonna give it benefit of the doubt. The dude, this possibly could happen, and I know ultimately you just want to know the answer.
Right.
But I know it could just eat at you. Like I can.
Yeah, of course. I mean, look, brother, I'm talking about an able-bodied man that was working for Uncle Sam, and let's be honest, he was working on aircraft. Like, I know what his job was. He was working on aircraft, and I'm pretty sure he was like a crew chief or whatever the case. So he's not a dummy. You know what I'm saying? He knew who I was. He was married to my mother. He knew how to reach me.
When you say dummy, you're giving a level of intelligence for emotions. He may not have had that.
Well, let's fuck emotions and talk about responsibility then.
Again, you don't know how he grew up, because that's why I specifically asked you about his parents. How did he grow up? Because I'm telling you this, and I'm just doing it from me, man. Because when I went through this journey, my father taught me how to love, and I disliked my father a lot because he was so hard, right? And then when I found out so many different things about my father, and he had already died, I hated my father. You know what I'm saying? And then when I started to like calm down, and when I say that, it was over the last 2 or 3 years, and I went to my aunties. I said my father wasn't a good person, and they just put their head down, and I'm like, wow, I fell in love with this man that was not a good person, and his sisters didn't say nothing. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I told you some things that I found out, and it was like, but my father did everything he could, right? But it hurt me to hear these things, and I'm like, dang, this is the type of person that raised me. So this is what I'm saying. I had to find some type of peace.
I think my expectations, considering my circumstances,
they're totally different.
But I just completely lower, right? You, thankfully, are in a position where you can scrutinize the behavior, the actions, the lack thereof, the way that was, the way that this, the way that he, the way that I don't even remember what this motherfucker looks like. You understand what I'm saying? I remember 2 pictures. One was in an aircraft, and one was it was an old Polaroid, and he was wearing some white pants and he had his shirt off. You know what I'm saying? And this had to be like way back when, probably when he asked my mother to marry. I remember these two pictures. If it was me and him in the same room with four walls, I wouldn't know I'm sitting there with him. You get what I'm saying?
I do.
So the expectations are completely different. Scrutinizing behavior, right? Whether you like it or don't like the behavior, but you're telling me your story, and I'm saying from my side, I almost wish I was in that position.
Oh, I get it.
But you get what I'm saying?
Oh, I would rather for you because I have more clarity.
But you see what I'm saying? Like, I almost wish I was in a position where I could scrutinize the behavior. Me, I was chasing a ghost.
No, look,
you feel me?
No, but that's what I'm saying. So, my father was a functioning drug addict.
Right.
But everybody aren't like that. And the reason why I say drugs, because like I told my wife every time, like that's how people move backward. It's drugs, or they don't have the mental capacity to be able to deal with what's going on around them.
Right.
So again, I don't know anything, but I still want you to have peace. So I got to come up with as many different possibilities for you to be like, you know what? That's a possibility. But until you get the answer, at least you'd be like, you know what? I could be wrong in this situation. Then what if you do? You'd be like, man, I hated you all this time and all you had to do was come out. But a man's pride and ego, sometimes that's all they have, no matter what it looks like.
I mean, obviously, like if anybody watching or listening, you would be able to hear whatever in my voice, right? And I think that's natural. I think that that's healthy to be able to express yourself and show emotion and express how you feel. And for you to, I'm talking about me, yeah. And you can, if you can't relate to my pain, at least you can feel it where it's coming from.
Dude, I feel it.
In conversation, right?
For sure.
But when you talk about this, give me the word again. When we talking about me coming to a resolution, right? Like, okay, this is at least what it is or whatever. For me, that's why I went above and beyond in 2017. You get what I'm saying? Because I didn't want to sit and be like, I could have done something, but I didn't. I was thinking all these things that you were talking about. You get what I'm saying? I'm thinking maybe there's something wrong. Maybe he's hurt. Maybe he's dying. Maybe it's this. Maybe it's that. Let me try. You get what I'm saying? Let me try. Let me go out there and do a fatherly thing as a son to try to find my father. How fucked up does that sound? You know what I'm saying?
It sounds really bad.
And then to get to a point where it's like, not even from him, or maybe it was. Maybe he was in the back with the puppet strings telling the pastor's wife, don't do this, don't do that. Maybe he was talking to the cousin on Facebook saying, don't respond to him. Maybe he was. But from what I know, it was roadblocks being put up by people that ain't even him for whatever reason, I don't know. And to make matters worse, insult to injury is like salt to the wound. One of them was a man of God or a wife of a man of God or whatever. And it's just like, come on, man. Like, what are y'all doing? So from my side, for this closure that you're talking about, I'm like, at least I did everything within my power to try to do whatever.
And I commend it.
And from there, I have to say, okay.
Yeah. But it still isn't enough for you because I can hear it.
Yeah, but I mean, if there's anyone that is trying to accomplish anything and you hit a point where no matter what you do, you're not able to accomplish it and it's out of your hands, how could that ever be enough for anybody? If your intent was to start a mission and accomplish it or achieve the goal, but out of your control, there's no way for you to do it.
Let me give you
regardless of your effort, it's like, how could that ever be enough?
I'm going to show you. So I believe I told you why my mother left.
Yes, you did.
All right. So my mother said, like, I hated my mama half my life.
Talk through it, bro. With you.
We can agree that she had a good reason to leave.
I agree.
She told me, like for years, I'll tell you when you get older. That was 41. And I look back. This ain't even supposed to be about me, you joking ass.
Hey, bro.
Anyways, let me laugh this off.
It's all good, man.
So look, it took me 41 years for her to be able to tell me the truth.
Right.
Like, I'm like, mama, like, what does it look like?
That's the big secret.
Yeah. Right. So it was like, the ultimate thing was like, she just said, you weren't ready to really be able to take it in. Like your father did everything he could, right? And granted, your situation is completely different. And again, I love you because of so many reasons, but I want to try to at least keep your efforts alive a little longer to at least get to where I am. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like when you say you washed your hands, I'm like, I feel like I washed my hands, but you's like, I kind of like wanted your situation. And I get that. And I was like, until you get it, just keep looking for it. Because you know what? Again, I've seen situations where fathers were horrible and kids were upset, but they don't realize they couldn't have become great if he would have remained in their life.
I get that. I mean, look, bro, you always tell me, never say never.
I definitely do that.
Because the moment you say never, it's gonna come back, and the universe is gonna blah, 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 right? All of that. I always come back with you, and I say never whenever the hell I want.
You do,
but I can always change my mind.
You can
as well. I will never reach out for him ever again.
You know what? I think you want to do it because you create your own walls to say I'm gonna get over it anyway.
Like I said, I will never reach out for him again.
Well, you know what? If you don't reach out to him,
let me finish.
He's gonna come.
I was gonna say that.
Yeah.
Now, if someone wants to be a grown ass man and come forward and give some type of reason, provide some type of way that there can be understanding, some way where there can be an explanation for all the years it had to be coped for, right? To help, then I'm not saying that I would not be open.
Yeah, I believe you would be. I don't think you've cut that part out.
But this young man, this caramel mother, caramel though, it's not coming. The effort is not coming from this side. You know what I'm saying? This cup has runneth over. You know what I mean? So
no, look, I told you, you've done a lot.
That's how I see it. So it's just like, and it's not for anybody that's listening. It's like, damn, yo, man, he sound mad. He sound angry. He sound like he's full of hatred and he's this. You're damn right. I have felt all of those. No, I have felt all of those. I think any child would that sits and wonders. Because I'll tell you something, for you deadbeat daddy motherfuckers out there that don't call your kids, one thing that the child does wonder, what did I do wrong? Why she don't like me? Why she don't love me? This is what a 6-year-old sitting in a fucking window looking for your ass as cars turn around in the damn driveway, and he's thinking he's going to spend the day with his daddy or the weekend with his fucking daddy. So you deadbeats out there, this is what the fuck is going on in their mind. You get what I'm saying? So you're damn right. There's a little bit of hatred, a little dash of fucking anger, a pinch of upsetness, or whatever the fuck. There is.
No, I hear.
Because that's a long time of dealing with a whole lot of shit. And I'm not trying to belittle your situation by saying, I wish I would have had that. It was It was only in a light comparison of like, I would have. You know what I mean?
I get it. At least you had the relationship.
Yeah. At least there was something. At least you have an idea. At least you had an opportunity. Maybe I would have been, here we go. Maybe my father would have been in my life and I would have realized I can't stand the motherfucker and be like, I can't, God, get out of here. But you don't even have the opportunity to realize that you don't like him. You get what I'm saying? And not that I'm hoping for or don't like, but you get what I'm saying, right? You weren't even in a position to get to know who the person was, to realize what you were missing. But what you did see, what you did see is what everybody else was doing and not doing. Take your son to work day, daddy coming for the whatever, dad, cheering for you in the stands during your games and whatnot. And I played a lot of sports. I turned out fucking great. You missed out, you simple bastard. And that's just what it is. It is what it is.
This is what I'm saying. So look, check this out. Just consider this. He didn't have the best teachers.
That's not my fault.
You're right, but that means he only knows what he knows.
Again, it's not my fault.
Absolutely
if
right.
you can't handle responsibility, keep your PP in your pants. You understand what I'm saying? Bro, it is what it is.
I'm just saying, like, you know what? I don't think you understand who you are.
Dude, what do you mean?
You are not a reflection of your father.
Oh, this I know.
But that's what I'm saying.
This I know.
But my point is...
Let the church say amen.
Amen.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
No, I'm just saying, like I said, I don't know.
They're not gonna like me after this podcast. It's okay,
Nah,
though.
man.
It's
you
okay.
know,
I'm a human. It's all good.
That is. Look. Check this out. I just know the type of person you are, dog. And I tell you this. You know how embarrassing it is got to be as a man to, like, my son became great without me.
That he did. Thanks to my mother.
But I'm saying,
and my aunts,
as a man,
and my uncles,
and
my cousins, yes, and
like,
my grandparents.
My son is great. Okay. Remember I told you that, like, I think I told you at 22, in the same week, I was told that I got 2 women pregnant. And I told my father, and he said, "Oh, I'm surprised you ain't had more than that by now." And I was looking like, who the heck you think I am? No, for real. Damn. So, and you know what my friend said? He said, your father said that because with his lack of parenting, he thought you would have had way more kids by now. My father didn't even believe in himself. Damn. That's what I'm saying. So guess where, like, dude, I don't know what place your father's in, but I tell you this, if your father was raised by a couple of stellar parents and he strayed off or whatever reasons, I'm telling you, it's more to that story. And I'm not telling you how to look at it, but I would like for you to believe that you're cut from a cloth from him. You just beat it up without him. And it's got to be embarrassing as a man. Like, dude, the things that you've been able to accomplish without that influence, that's got to be hurtful for him. And you know what? He was like, I had to stay out of his life because he wouldn't have been able to do that.
He might be giving him too much credit, but
I am.
Thank you.
I'm not
trying to shit on what you're saying.
I don't think he did it on purpose,
but
I'm just saying on how you develop.
But I'm okay. I appreciate where you coming from with all my heart, and you know.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm not trying to shit on what you're saying.
I don't think so.
But we're assuming that he even knows who I am, what I'm doing. I'm just saying, we're assuming. Bruh. We're assuming.
Look, you didn't get all them skills from your mama.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
She can say. Okay. She'll tell you.
Oh, so you just got he just got his looks or something?
I hope not.
I'm sure he's a handsome guy.
I'm sure he's probably not. He get it from his mom.
Everything? She had you by herself.
Damn near. Shout out to my mother.
For sure.
Yes.
Great job. And the village that helped you out.
Yes. All my aunts and uncles. Oh man, could I name all my aunts and uncles?
I don't know. That's what
I don't know. I don't know if I want to put myself on the spot like that. Mary, Vera, Jean.
Oh, you can name all the crash, but not your.
No, that's Charlie, Ken, Terry, bruh, Will, Ed, Calvin. Oh, one more. And that's it. I think that's it. Who'd I miss?
Your aunts?
I said them. Vera, Mary, Jean.
Oh, I did hear that.
Shout out on Jean.
For sure.
That's it. And then of course Charlie Scott, my grandfather.
Shout out to y'all for real.
Annie Mae Scott, grandma. And then my mama Verna Scott, of course. So yeah, that was the village that raised me, and all my older cousins, and even some of the younger ones taught me some things. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
So yeah, he messed out, bro.
He did.
He messed out. So,
but maybe he didn't. Maybe he allowed you to grow because he didn't have anything to offer you.
It was funny because like I realized things when I was younger, but like I wasn't really verbal and not internal family, like outside, because you know kids are cruel, right?
Very.
You're like, how come your daddy didn't come? You're fatherless, and it's just like, I mean, yeah. Matter of fact, that's what we're gonna call this, fatherlesshood. Yeah,
I like it.
That's it. So, but yo, man, I appreciate the words, bro, and obviously, you know, us having conversation is it's just one of them things where I don't even think it was intended to go this route, but it is what it is.
It is.
So
I enjoyed it, man. You know, and like I said, I can like the way that I feel about my father, it was like I loved him for real.
Right.
Look, check this out. Like my father was cheating on my mother and all of that, right? And my wife used to say, she used to try to tell me about my father. I was like, oh, you can't talk to him like that. You can't talk about him like that. He's already passed, right? He was like, did you ever think about that? Look, my father didn't do none of that. And we were just sitting there and I was just like, my father was cheating on my mama. And I already knew because I hear the stories.
Right.
But I did not take it serious. And then to find out why my mama left, it was like, it ain't just cheating what he was doing. You know what I'm saying? It was like
Jesse. I'm sorry. My Uncle Jesse. He passed away. That was the last one that I remember.
Rest
Forgive
in
me.
peace.
Yes.
For sure. Shout out to
that was
Jesse.
the one I missed. Thank you.
So what I was saying, like my mother, she left. And you know, like for her to not tell why she left, because she did not want his kids to look at him that way. And it took, like I said, 41 years for her to reveal the truth and to realize that I was in love with a man that did not deserve that love. And then he did deserve it because he did stay and he did these things. And then you look back and you're like, man, I was cheated to me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But when you like reevaluate, you're like, he did the best he could. So when I hear your situation, he really didn't think he could make you better. He was like a possible cancer.
So the assumption is, like I said, we.
I want to keep adding things.
I hear you, but
at least it will take away the narrow view of that he ain't shit.
I mean, here's the thing though. Based off of my 42 years of experience, the benefit of the doubt is up for grabs. I won't be the one to catch it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
So I'm not going to make the best. 42 years of the experience. I'm not going to make the best assumption out of that. Oh, well, he probably sees me and he decided he was going to stay away because he didn't want to taint. Like, fuck that. No, I don't even, he probably doesn't even know anything. Maybe he saw the picture. Look, bro, I don't know.
No, you too dope for him not to have found that out. Well, how about this? Are you telling me that nobody knows about you?
What you mean?
From that side of the family?
I don't know. Maybe that cousin that ignored me on Facebook, whoever that is.
Man, look, check this out.
Yeah.
No matter how much anybody tries to ignore people, there's somebody that always keeps up with somebody. And you are the one that they would have loved to keep up with. It's like, man, your boy he's doing it.
Yeah.
Now, you know how much that be like, check this out.
Hey.
It's tough as a man already. It's already tough as a man.
Right.
And to know that you've developed in that way. And I just hope that it's something as difficult other than the idea that he just wasn't shit. Inshallah.
That's what it is. Sure. Listen up, y'all. He is John D. I'm Omega, and this is Diverse Clarity. This is where we have those thought-provoking conversations about things that matter and some that don't. We'll catch you next episode.
Boom.